Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals presented by Juked. I am Doa, and with me today are Becca and Mortdog. How's everybody doing? Well, just so people don't talk over each other. You know, it's a little bit tough sometimes when we're all virtual. Go down the line. So, Becca, how's it going?
Really well. I'm super excited for today. Yesterday left me wanting more, and I'm excited to see how this lobby turns out.
Awesome. And Mort, you were watching yesterday, no doubt. Obviously excited about tonight, but what stood out to you last night?
Just the different builds and the fact that like a lot of things were able to succeed. We saw sorcerers do well, we saw the Jinx build do well, as well as the Astro snipers, the mech stuff like that. So I'm excited to see which of all of those sort of top tier builds comes out on top today. Is it the people who are flexible? Is it someone who might be forcing some sort of slash bros? So
Someone
kind
might
of
be doing
excited to
that.
see it.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I think we'll see a variety of styles tonight. It's going to be neat. But let's take a look at our schedule and prize pool for the event. This is day 2. Yesterday we had the round of 24. We narrowed it down to just our top 8 today, and as you can see, first place taking home $12,500. That is a lot of money for Teamfight Tactics. Is awesome. But the big deal, the first and second place players tonight get that spot in the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies Global Championships a little bit later. And that's what it's really all about, because that's when like all the best players from the world come together, fight it out. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big honor everyone's fighting for, is to be part of that big tournament with all the different regions and show, which region's the best and which players got the right stuff. So that'll be fun to see.
There's been a lot of NA-EU trash talk lately, so we'll see. I think some people are kind of sleeping on some of the other regions here, like China, Korea. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit Korea biased, maybe, after all my esports experience over there, but we'll see. Let's take a look at how all of our players got here. This is going to be the final standings for the round of 24 that we saw yesterday. Or no, it's actually just going to be our lobby tonight. There you go. So you can see the players on the left, but one thing I want to direct your attention to first off is that the point structure for today is a little bit different, and the sort of way we're going to determine the winner is going to be a little bit different, where there is a drop off from first to second and then from second to third as well. So those top 2 spots, extremely important tonight. Now, to get the win in the tournament, what you need to do is get 16 points, and then after you achieve 16 points total, then your next first place will win you the tournament. But remember, it's not all about winning. Those top 2 spots still get the passes to the Galaxies World Global Qualifiers, rather. No, Global Championships, I mean to say. So seconds, maybe a little bit disappointing, but it's okay.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if people go for the first or eighth strategy, like we saw maybe from Kiyun, or if they try to do like a nice safe like second or third until they hit that 16. So
yeah, the strategy is going to be interesting. So here are the results from yesterday. As you can see, Becca, as you look across this list, other than, obviously feeling a little bit bummed about Delicious Milk standings, like what are your takeaways from yesterday's results?
It just looks like the flexible players seem to be really owning this patch, and of course, seeing Aegon go through the disconnect really sucks. But
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's gonna like come back strong next set anyway. So, yeah. Man, who do you guys think is gonna take it home today?
We were talking about this actually before the show started, and it could be a lot of different people. More, you were saying Grand Vice was going to be your pick, unless you've changed it. You were saying earlier Grand Vice. Are you still saying Grand Vice?
if I had to put money on it, I'd probably pick Grand Vice. He's shown to be really flexible for the last few patches and shown a lot of promise and played really well yesterday, as well as getting a few firsts.
Okay.
But I also think there's a chance for like a swing where like Kiyun comes out, with a first and a second, and then his high roll comps. So who knows? It's really anyone's game though, and that's what I think is going to be fun about tonight.
Yeah, speaking of Kiyun, he went like 1-8, 1-8, 1 in his 5 games yesterday. So about as much of a roller coaster as you can have in results. Becca, who do you think, if you had to pick someone, who do you think is going to win tonight?
I mean, I don't want to just bandwagon on the GB8 train, but
That's
GB8
okay.
is my favorite to win. But I think Kurum's also a competitive beast. So I think when it comes down to the wire, I can totally see Kurum pulling it out, going ham in the last few games.
I feel like he gets a little bit underestimated sometimes, so I would not be surprised to see him take it easy, as well. And you don't need to worry about picking the same thing that same person that someone else picked, because you know what, if you're an analyst, you make the choice you believe in. You don't change it just to be different, right? Like
I changing different.
I
Let's
hate
go,
that.
Kyun. Okay, Kyun, let's get it.
Maybe
Hi.
like if you have to do it, but you know, this is a problem in esports. I'm going to call it out right now, where analysts on a desk think they need to pick different people just because they need to like look unique and have their own opinion. No, if you all think the same person's going to win, say it. Stand by your prediction. Be a real analyst. Sorry, that's my rant is over. I think who could possibly win. I don't know. I've kind of got my money on Kyun, honestly. I think Grand Vice is great, and he had some pretty incredible results yesterday. But Kyun's ability to get firsts a lot, even though it also comes with the ability to get top 8s a lot, I think might just push him over the line. We'll see. I'm also really curious to see how Mismatch Sox is going to do today, because he just forced Yi Blade Masters 5 games in a row yesterday, and he hit in a lot of those games, but he's really, really good. I went back and watched some of his games today, actually, and he's just so good at playing his best board while at the same time like working towards this as well. So it's not just a matter of like he hit, he's also just like playing towards it extremely well. So I think if he can kind of recreate that success today, he's got a chance to do the same thing.
I think we also have to call out Robin as well. I don't think he's anyone's like first pick to win, but I think he's shown that he easily could be, right? He came out on top yesterday, played really well. So I don't think anyone should be sleeping on him either.
2 first places in his 5 games yesterday. Went 3-1, 3-1-4 as we get started here on Treasure Trove. And of course, big shout out to Juke.gg for supporting TFT Esports. Really quick before we begin, we want to let you guys know that you can type !scores in chat to keep track of all the scores tonight. If you want to know, between games, if you're impatient, I understand that. And you can also type !POV to get a page that will show you all the player POVs. You can go watch a specific player if you want to keep track of somebody's style. So yeah, check that out if you want to. But jumping on board with Robin Songs, our point leader from yesterday. And what do you guys think? Got the sword start on Treasure Trove. What have you liked to play lately on this Galaxy?
On this Galaxy, you can be pretty flexible, especially knowing that you're going to get a bunch of gold and a bunch of items. The orbs also often will give you the 3-cost champions, and so you can react to those the 3-cost champions like a Cassiopeia, a Shaco, maybe even a Vayne, go Cyber. You also get a lot of items, so like Cybernetic is often a popular pick here. But the other thing to call out was like the opening carousel was the Tears, Rods, Swords carousel. So for example, Sox, who's going to be hungry for those bows, might be in a little bit weaker position than he'd like to be. So
true. Becca, what do you think? Like, do you find yourself gravitating towards a particular comp on Treasure Trove, or do you just kind of like see what components you end up getting?
I think on Treasure Trove, I think Keen was telling us yesterday that he enjoys playing Cybers on this Galaxy. I honestly love this Galaxy because I do feel like you can play whatever you want. It looks like a Cybers game.
I was gonna say
Robin.
Yeah, just as we called out, like you got the Vayne, he's got the 3 Cyber, and so he'll probably be running that for at least a while, as long as he can get something to pair with that sword. So. Yeah,
and should find something like a Giant Slayer is okay, Infinity Edge is okay. He had the opportunity for a Xayah too, which it's obviously not a Cyber's unit, but it's a pretty decent unit to just stick on the board in the early game too. So I'm a little bit surprised he passed that up. Are you guys?
I think with the the Vayne, you'll know that the Vayne is going to be last alive, can often be much safer, especially with like early infiltrators in the early game.
Fair enough.
But I think at this point he's going to be trying to beef up that front line. He hit the 10 gold econ with that Vayne, and like I said, I think he's just going to be riding this pretty straightforward at this point.
Yeah, I think there's just no world where you wouldn't play the Vayne and would play the Xayah over the Vayne as your carry. So I think that's probably just why he didn't pick it up. And if he were to level, he would probably put in Vanguards because they're so good early.
Yep. Yeah, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do, just to give a little bit more support for the backline. So strong start as he does a little bit of quick scouting. The fun thing is, like, I feel like once you get used to a set and like all the silhouettes of the champions in the set, you can do that really, really fast scouting where you don't even need to really stop and look. You can kind of like let your subconscious brain like absorb what you see in that glimpse and kind of get a feel for what people are playing.
Yeah, he's also got a really nice start here with the belt on Fiora, which is commonly turned into Redemption, which is a major ton of healing for cybernetic comps. I also got to call out Obo here running 2 bards.
Oh yeah. Farm the meeps.
The meeps must flow. Our lone Oceania representative too in the top 8. Played really well yesterday.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think he
sure a lot
got
of
4
people are
gold
really-
off that.
Oh, he did? I could not see the meeps.
Many
Uh,
meeps. So with Obo as well, we'll talk about him for just a moment here while we go back and look at Rob and Song's board. But he's coming in today with one of the lower results from yesterday. He went 5-1-2-7-5 in his game, so only 2 top 4s actually, which is a little bit surprising. But he did play a really huge variety of comps. He played Brawler Blaster, which is a little bit rare these days. He won a game with Space Pirates in his second game.
Nice.
He played Mech and 2s. He played Star Guardian Sork, like OG style, and he played Vanguard Mystic. So he certainly does seem to be one of the more flexible players in the top 8. So definitely a person to watch because it's really hard to predict what he's going to go for.
Yeah, so this is one of the tougher matchups in the early game for Cyber because you have to burn through that Rebel shield, as well as the Ziggs is going to be hitting through your Vanguards.
Yeah.
So this might actually be a loss for Robbins. It's going to be real close here.
If he gets that more...
Oh, he's
no
got
more
this.
ability.
He's got this.
Oh!
Oh, the dodge! Feels good.
Wow, mechanics.
So I'm just remembering something Robin said yesterday in his post-game interview, because he was the highest point earner. He just already knows what his plan is. He's limiting himself to certain comps because he knows where his weaknesses lie, whereas some of the other players in this tournament are very, very flexible. So I love that he has a plan and is able to identify what his weaknesses are and actually make it, you know, super beneficial for him. Turn it into an advantage. I think I like how he plays.
He had a great result yesterday. He ended up going 3-1-3-1-4, which is, I mean, he was a points leader. That is the best set of results that anybody got. But he did play a good variety of things too. He played 6 Star Guardian Sorcerers. He played Astro Snipers. He played Mech and the 2 synergies. He played Protectors and Legends, and he played a game of Cybernetics. So, you know, another big variety there. But, you know, like you mentioned, he did talk in the interview about how he just sticks with what he's comfortable with. But it seems like he's comfortable with a lot.
I have to call out in that fight, by the way, the Nocturne got on the Vayne. And again, if that had been like a Xayah or something else, that probably would have spelled doom. But because Vayne can drop the aggro, that was a win, allowing Robin to keep that win streak going. And so now his economy is sitting really pretty.
Early Vayne is so good for that exact reason. Dropping aggro, dodging TF cards helps as well. Second carousel here. And Kyun grabs the bow. Interesting.
Yeah,
I was kind of watching. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's gonna get all the bows because Sox is in first right now, which means he's not gonna be able to get those items. So it'll be interesting to see if he does still go the Slash Bros pivot or sticks with something else.
You know, and like that's the thing is win streaking sometimes isn't great if you're trying to force a comp like Slash Bros with the Master Yi Blade Master carry. He had a similar situation in game 1 yesterday where he ended up win streaking a lot and ended up taking 4th barely. But check that out. Wow, Grand Vice with the Shakos already.
I'm more looking at the 2-star Nico.
Yeah, the Nico.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't even notice
Nico
that.
2 at 2. I think he had it earlier at like 2-3 or 2-2.
That's insane.
You
I'd
think
be
he's
curious. Go
Gonna...
ahead,
Yeah.
Becca.
You think he's gonna go Dark Stars this game? I would love if he went Dark Stars this game. I feel like we haven't seen enough Dark Star representation in this tournament.
I could see a Protector Dark Star into like Sniper or something like that.
I think the only player that went Dark Stars yesterday that made it into the top 8 was Polt, who actually went a 6 Dark Star in his second game, which is it's interesting because it's strong, but you don't see it a whole lot.
Yeah, it was super flavor of the month or flavor of the patch, maybe 2 patches ago.
Yeah.
But it definitely fell off.
I'm curious if GV8 naturaled this Nico or if he like Nico'd the Nico or how he got this, but that's really
There's
high
another
early.
Nico.
Oh wow! So the game is basically telling him to just go Star Guardians and get a Nico 3. Is what that's what I'm seeing from this.
Nico
You know, I
3 is
suppose
a
too.
real powerful champion.
Yeah, that's that's the big misconception about Star Guardian Sork. Like you know, back when it rose to popularity, is a lot of people are talking about the Syndra, and the Syndra's great, but Nico was the real carry of that comp.
Yeah.
Well, back then Syndra was stronger too. She was definitely a little too strong back then.
She was a carry for sure.
She was the carry, but like you said, itemizing a Nico with like that Zerat Portal GA Morello or something like that to keep her alive for a long time was definitely the difference between a bad Star Guardian comp and a good Star Guardian comp.
Yeah, and then going way back, if you can give her like the 6 sorcerer buff, then she's just like super gangplank basically at that point.
Yeah. And
This
again,
move
the power
is
of Vayne here, being able to drop the aggro, be the last one surviving,
Yeah,
is so strong.
I don't think the shield is going to be enough for Nico to survive through this. Yeah, not going to build the ult up fast enough.
Both
Close call,
Sox
but Grand
and-
Vice drops one. Yeah,
Sox and Robin didn't face each other. Just get the
interesting.
3 streaks.
Oh, the natural
Wow.
Shaco here.
Oh wow.
Huh. Do you finish it though? I wonder
I
because
think you wait until you see what items you get so that you can maybe make another item so this doesn't combine into a Zeke's.
that's the thing. Yeah, you can't really complete it now because you don't like Zeke's Shaco is not the greatest thing ever.
But I think if I don't get anything, would you guys just make the Zeke's? I think I would this early on. And I can always make the Shaco later.
Yeah, I think a big Shaco 2 is probably worth that value. I think this is one of those kind of key decisions, though, that also separates, the good players from the great players.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a tough moment where you've got to figure out a way to get that off of there.
Huh.
Let's send the Warmogs.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you'd rather have a Warmogs on the Shaco. Oh, Warmogs Hex Tech Power Hand of Justice Shaco. There you go.
So he locked.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I would have done as well.
Yeah, I think that's better than the Zeke's for sure.
And then he can always move it to a Nico or a Protector or
Mhm.
whoever his line ends up being.
Yeah, certainly getting that on Nico later would be real strong as well.
Yeah.
Wow. Grand Vice is looking good. Looking really strong. His
Ooh,
three
Robin's-
counts are upgraded.
Robin's just hit 6 at 3-1 with that win streak, so he's
Huh.
definitely playing to win right now.
That's interesting. 'Cause, yeah, it's not a natural time to go to 6, but if he feels that's what he needs to do to keep the win streak going, that makes a lot of sense then. The Shaco is so scary now though.
Certainly, if Robins and Socks end up matching up, you want to get that extra advantage to keep that win streak going, because that is so much extra gold.
Yeah, you
Look at-
just know Robin and Socks are looking at each other's boards, sweating who's gonna for like to make sure that they could beat each other.
Exactly.
Look at Polt here with the Darius 2 with all the mech items. Like it looks like he wants to go mech eventually, and when he does, those are some great items for it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised with like the Nico 2 and the Shaco 2. GV8's still struggling to secure the wins here
Oh,
a bit.
GV8 is rolling on 6.
Hmm.
I have not rolled on 6 this patch, so I'm really excited to see it. I think he's just looking for protectors, or is
mean,
it
yeah.
for Darkstar?
Well, if you're trying to find the Rakan and the Jin Zhao, it makes sense to roll over here, I suppose. It feels kind of bad though, you know.
Yeah, he was either looking for protectors or for Darkstar, and he found the Karma.
So definitely be strong. It should be anyway. Like we did talk about how Darkstar's had fallen off a little bit, but it still seems like with what he's got, it should be pretty good. Although Shaco's taking a long time to walk over there. Oh, build the Hex Tech.
Oh,
no. The Hex Tech would have
unfortunately-
saved him.
It seems like GV8's front line is just struggling a bit without any defensive items on those protectors, so they're just not cutting it. 1-star Jarvan as well. If the Warmogs was on Nico, I think we'd have a different situation, but sadly it is not.
The perennial Darkstar problem, right? Where it's like you do a lot of damage, but your front line is going to be a little bit weaker in a lot of cases.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he did get to he is farming money now with his lose streak. His losses aren't too bad, and he just is gaining back the eco he used on his roll down just now.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The loss streaking here is really good, and as you said, the losses have been like close to perfect. So, agree. That's a really skilled way. If you're going to lose games, definitely do it like that.
Right.
You
It's
know
like
when
we've gotta... Oh, go ahead.
when Robin leveled to 6 early. You know when you're low rolling and you end up playing the person right after they level to 6 early, and you just don't want to be in the game anymore.
Yep.
It's like this is my life now. We
Oh,
had
Oh,
huh.
Socks beat Robins, I think. So now Socks is the only undefeated. Level 7 already.
Mm-hmm. Wow, he's going really, really fast.
Yeah.
At
I
this
get to
point.
see what he's playing.
I haven't
What
seen it
Socks
yet.
is playing?
Last I saw, he was playing Ziggs Rumble, but
Hmm.
I haven't seen it since.
Oh
If
yeah,
he
that's
can
part of
win-
the show.
I mean, if he can win streak like this, into, I don't know, maybe like a strong rebels or strong mech. Although the thing is like we know there's at least 2 other mech players in the lobby, in Cottontail and Pulp, both looking like they want to go that direction.
Yeah, so he's just win streaking off Demolitionist and just a strong board. So
right.
Fascinating.
Mech online for somebody. I didn't see who that was. I think that was Pulp.
Oh, nice. Gets the Jarvan. Leveling to 7. So we're seeing a really aggressive lobby also, with Sox and Robins kind of dictating that everyone else has to follow.
I agree. I think because 2 players were so strong early, it feels like there's so much more pressure on the other player.
Oh, nice. GA on Shaco is really good. But yeah, that's kind of what Treasure Trove does to players sometimes, is that it does force the lobby to be really aggressive because, you know, along with the extra items, you just get all that gold too.
Yeah, so I think the $1 million question here for GB8 is like, what is he going to play in the end game, right? Like, is the Shaco going to be his plan the whole time, or is he going to take these items and move them? So I'm very curious to see where that goes.
Here, Sox's streak looks like it's over now.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That Shaco did it.
But Sox is, has 40 gold and is level 7. So strong.
Yeah.
Still probably feels pretty good. Well, we'll take a look at what Sox is up to. We'll watch his perspective for a while here. We mentioned earlier just kind of working off of a bunch of different synergies, but largely that Demolitionist synergy. And he's another player that looks like he definitely wants to go mech. He's picking up the pieces. He's got a couple of Victors. He's got the Spark, the Shroud.
Yeah, the tricky thing here is he's got a Spatula, which doesn't really fit very well into that comp either. So I think at this point he's just kind of praying for a second Spatula so he can hit that Force of Nature. But yeah, like you mentioned, it also seems to be a very contested comp, this lobby. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with it or has some crazy Sox pivot that he's got planned.
Look at
I can't see this being a pivot.
Well, look at Ubo's board too. He's going for he's got the Bard too. He's the lowest HP in the lobby at 39, but he's just really trying to fast 9. It seems like as quick as he can. He's got a lot of gold. He's got a lot of meeps at least. But
yeah, I'd expect him to probably hit 8, you know, at 4-1. So
yeah.
But if he doesn't go in soon, he's just not going to have enough health for any bad matchups, and you know, this will be like a 5th or 6th at best if he can't turn it around pretty quick.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a chance a little bit here as we go into the infiltrators. So at least he's got a little bit of reprieve there. Ah, there we go. So there's the Fizz, but where's the Annie now?
Oh. That's one of the worst feelings when you're missing the Annie.
Seriously. Yeah,
he got it. He got it.
That is extremely true. That's worse than not finding the Fizz, is having the Fizz and not having the Annie, I think.
Yeah, because it just makes you feel a little worse about it.
The 2-star Fizz, the 2-star Rumble, and the no Annie is definitely the worst.
So no Spatula, but you can do a couple things here. Like you can make an Infiltrator spat and then, you know, get to 4 Infiltrators a little bit easier if you want to, you know, do that kind of techie thing. Otherwise, like if worse comes to worse, late game, you can even go like Dark Star, I guess, if you find a Shaco, and it doesn't really do much for you, but at least it uses the Spatula. But,
yeah, I'll also call out, these aren't really the best mech items that we're seeing in the meta right now. Typically, you're seeing like a QS, a Titan's Resolve, Hand of Justice, and we're kind of seeing none of these. This is almost like more like the older style mech.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of dodge mech. Oh, I like how he made the Zeeks.
Oh.
Wow, I would not have made the Zeeks. It's fun seeing how other people itemize.
Yeah, it's the old principle of attack speed is almost as good as mana sometimes for sorcerers, because you'll get that faster cast from just hitting things quicker. So there's definitely like a sound logic to it. Now, does he double Zeeks? Do we go like the old Kha'Zix style, power up your sorcerers that way?
Oh man, I think he wants like the GA for GP later, no? Or
I would think so. Yeah.
would you slam the Giant Slayer on Victor? Because I know the item's fine on him.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
The other thing I'll call out is we do have a couple mech players, and Kurum had the double Giant Slayer Jinx, so setting himself up for success here as well. The mech players have definitely got to be afraid of that. So
it feels bad to sell Demolitionist, but I think it is important to get that blue buff over onto Victor.
Especially a Victor too.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hopefully find a Ziggs later, or maybe like a GP or something like that.
So it was really fast, and I might have misseen it, but I saw at least one double Giant Slayer, and I thought even a triple Giant Slayer on someone else's board. So if that's the case, could be some trouble later for mech.
We did see one of those yesterday, and it worked pretty well. Speaking of mech, wow, I'm a little bit surprised that Cottontail's mech is going down a little bit quicker here. I think it's just all due to that Victor with the Giant Slayer.
Look at that Victor damage.
Yeah, seriously.
With all the Giant Slayers, do you just want to build dodge mech? The old Asian build.
Yeah, dodge mech can work. Yeah, it's tricky because Jinx is sort of the mixed damage. So yeah, dodge is probably your best bet.
Well, I think I'd like it if he finished this mech with a QSS, and I think that's probably what he wants to do because, you know, that would, obviously QSS is super important on mech to avoid the crowd control, but also, you know, just, it's more dodge, right? Because you got another glove on that.
Yeah. Yep.
The Zeeks is so interesting, especially on Karma, because now he doesn't feel good about putting an extra unit on the other side of her because he wants buff to be on Victor. I guess those are like some minor things that I would stress over that probably just ultimately don't matter.
Yeah, so there's the Kyun triple Giant Slayer, by the way.
Yeah, oh, that vein is...
Oh, I love that, actually. That's actually really cool, because yesterday we saw the triple Giant Slayer on a Jinx, and that worked extremely well. I love the idea of it on a Vayne, because it's just got that little extra survivability, it's got that range. Very cool.
Yeah, I think this is a good lobby read from Kurum as well, because if there were any Vanguards, that would be an awful decision. But from what we've looked at, there hasn't been anyone playing Vanguards, and so he's safe to do this. And now it's, you know, probably optimal. So.
So does Sox find the rod? It doesn't look like it. If he would have been able to get the rod, he would have been able to build a Morel and Namicon for his Victor, which would have been really important.
Yeah, that could have been real good.
Yeah, just picking too late, you know? The penalty for being first.
Yeah, and this is where I think we're going to start seeing Sox fall off pretty hard, whereas some of our lower players who got their item picks might get to turn it back around. So,
yeah, Keen with redemption in Cyber, actually double redemption. I like this. You've got the redemption on Vi, which is not common, and I suppose is not as common on Leona, but you know those are both still pretty good choices.
I think redemption is slept on. That item is really good, and if you can time it, especially with Cyber, like giving your entire team anywhere from 3,200 to 6,400 health based on when that procs, like it's pretty nutty.
And he has the Thieves Gloves on Aurelia. He looks really strong.
Yeah, GA and Zephyr are the items rolled by that Aurelia this round. That's pretty solid.
Robin has the Echo too, but Echo 2 just got obliterated. What is he typing in chat?
Double Giant Slayer Vayne equals one shot Echo.
Yeah, he did.
And again, I have to call this out. It's a really good read because with all the Cyber players with the extra health, they're going above the health threshold, which means these Giant Slayers are even more effective.
It must feel bad for Robin. You hit the Echo 2 and just see it have 0 use in your fight.
Yeah,
it's immediately popped. I wonder if we're getting into a little bit of a Giant Slayer stacking meta, like because people were realizing it was good for a while, but it's only this like last week that I first started noticing people like really stacking it, and now we're seeing it in this tournament this weekend. Have you been seeing this as much, Becca?
The Giant Slayer stacks?
Yeah, on the ladder.
I think I've seen people do what they can, but I definitely haven't really seen the triple Giant Slayer. I just think it's a little rare to get. The three swords and the
Watch
three
this
bows.
mech.
True.
Oh, what mech?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a lot of bonus damage on a high health target.
It's basically turning the Vayne into a Jhin almost at this point.
Yeah.
Like mobile Jhin.
That's a lot of damage.
Keen's just on that 9-game win streak.
Yeah.
Gets his perfect items and then just win streaks.
And look at this. Polt actually in #1 right now, and he's playing mech. All right, interesting. Really good items on the mech. He's got his GP, but not a lot of items on the GP yet. Interesting.
Yeah. This is interesting because like there's a lot of similar comps, but there's also a lot of the counters to these similar comps too. So it'll be really interesting to see how this plays out.
So Polt, interestingly enough, played mech twice yesterday, but in the first game he played mech Infiltrator Rebels. And in the second mech game he played mech Rebels again. So no victors. Yeah, it was really weird, but it worked okay for him. He got a third and a third. Yeah, a third and a third with both of it, or a second and a third. My bad.
Do you think that's just because people enjoy or people really like the Aurelian Soul right now?
I think that's part of it for sure. Yeah. So
I
you're trying
gotta,
to find. Oh, go
I
ahead.
gotta call out here that Kyun dropped 2 Nikos.
Mm-hmm.
So any 5 cost he finds now is instantly a 2-star 5 cost. He's got the Blade Master Spatula. He is sitting really pretty right now.
Hey,
Gotta find that echo.
no caster curse here.
I mean, I also have to call it, again, the double redemption, so that even if something happens to Vayne, like let's say she takes a Victor shot, those redemptions are going to keep that Vayne alive and keep doing all the damage. I think Kyun is in a really strong position here.
We've also got the Blade Master Spatula item on the Lucian as well, which could be utilized for something good later. Whoa.
There it is. There it is. Becca called it.
No,
Sad. You did
the
cast a
curse
curse.
is real.
You called it.
We learned this with the Mort Dog Top 4 Madness tournament that there is the caster curse, but there is also the developer bless. So we've got Mort in here to like
Oh.
counteract the caster curse at least. Although you're kind of a caster now in this situation, so it could go both ways.
We'll see. By the way, Robbins, who started off on that strong win streak, is now sitting in 8th with 6 HP, unfortunately. So
Feels bad.
Is it just the item difference because he couldn't get the items he wanted off of Carousel?
I think that's a big part of it. And I think it's also the large amount of Giant Slayers being sort of counter to his comp in general with all the cybernetic.
There are so many Giant Slayers and there's so many mechs, and the mechs do really well against cybernetics. So I guess, yeah, unfortunate for Robin.
Polt, has he met his match here? It looks like he has. So Polt's win streak ended here. Gets knocked down to second place in the lobby.
Oh!
8th. So Robin Song's at least surviving to that 7th place, but our OCE representative knocked out first in game 1, unfortunately for him.
So Kyun typed out need Robin dead for Aurelia 3. So he's got 5 Aurelia plus 2 Nikos. He is trying to plan to get the Aurelia 3 here.
How many more does he need? He needs
2 more.
like 2 more? Yeah, okay.
2 more.
Right. The double Nico. Just not finding them though.
It's definitely rough for Obo when he's trying to level quickly, and when the lobby is this aggressive and this strong, it doesn't feel like he can stall long enough.
True. What do you think about this Blade Master Echo? I guess it helps him build his ult a little bit quicker?
Yeah, I actually think it's a great pickup. He's got the Frozen Heart, which will help keep him safe and slow down that backline. If he gets a Blade Master proc or 2, that's a bunch of extra mana from those procs, and that'll allow him to ult. And once that ult kicks off, you've just slowed the attack speed of 5 other people.
True.
So that's massive. So I think that's a great play.
So Robin Song's out in 7th, was not able to hang in there. Full item carousel now.
But the Aurelia 3 Dream.
I was about to say, so now we keep an eye on the Aurelia 3 Dream. So
Yeah, it's real. We'll have to keep an eye on the sidebar to see if he picks it up. We're going to swap over to a different viewpoint after the carousel here. But a lot of mech.
yeah, a lot of mech, a lot of cyber, and then the one Jinx player.
Yeah. So on board with Kuramex here. And it finds the Echo 2 with the Ludens, which is a pretty good hero item combination overall.
Yeah, and certainly getting the extra starting mana is good for that first cast.
Yeah.
You know, and then the AP is also totally fine to have on Echo. It wouldn't be my first choice, but again, I think the upgrade to the Echo 2 here is just worth that payoff.
Oh yeah, at this point in the game, I'm just happy to get anything with the tier on Echo, you know?
Interesting.
Well,
he sold the Malphite, which is a rebel stack, to put the items on Blitz. Fascinating.
Wow. All right. Blitz tank carry. Let's go.
I wonder if he's just using it as an item holder for GP and really hoping for that GP.
I think you're almost.
Yeah, I
right
think he's
there.
just he's just fishing for it.
There's a GP on the other side.
Oh, no Echo cast.
Polt. Oh, no. Polt gets a win over Crum. Crum down to 3 HP, nearly out himself.
Yeah.
6th place would be where he ends. We'll see if Cottontail survives here.
Nope.
Cottontail does not, and he is out in 6th. Yeah.
Oh, Grandma.
GV8's out also.
Oh, wow. All right.
All right, top 4.
Yep, got our top 4. Mismatched Socks, Polt, Kyun, and Kuramex for our game 1 top 4.
Yeah, looks like the dodge mech definitely worked out for Socks, by the way. So.
Yeah. Lucky.
Oh, he went the
Really
trap
good
claw
luck.
route.
Yeah,
So.
I was thinking he would slam the trap claw just for the dodge.
I suppose if you can't find the QSS, you might as well.
Yep. Yep.
It's
I love
something.
the way Kurum is repositioning because you want to make it seem like you're not gonna put.
Muted. Oh, I was muted for the whole time. Oh, okay. I muted myself to talk for a while. Sorry about that. Or to type for a while. I have a very loud keyboard.
All right. So I
See?
guess we're back.
We back.
Polt just
All
got
right.
knocked out.
There we go. Okay, so for those of you who are unaware, in the state of California right now, it is like 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and so there are power outages going throughout the state, and one of those hit our production, unfortunately. But we're back up and running. Sorry about the awkwardness there. Luckily, thanks to the power of juke.gg, you can just hop over and watch any player of POVs you want at any time. So hopefully you guys didn't miss too much of the action. But thanks for sticking with us either way. And we are down to a very exciting 1v1 between Mismatch Socks and Kyun here at the end of game number 1.
Yeah,
I like
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say both of these players have got to be feeling good regardless of what happens here to get that key 10 and 8 points like we talked about.
Yeah.
Setting themselves up really well here.
Yeah, because you only need 16 points to unlock that ability to win with a first place afterwards. So it's pretty crucial to get like either halfway or over halfway there with a first or second.
Ooh, sells the Aurelian Soul.
Huh. All right.
Oh, for the Victor 2. I think that's definitely worth.
With the sorcerer buff, yeah. Both of these players are so good at positioning. Every time I watch their streams, they're always just every fight just looks so clean. So I'm excited to watch how they choose to position against each other. Such a mind game.
Wow, that GP ult.
I was just gonna say, I think this is gonna come down to if that GP casts or not. It doesn't have a GA or anything. If it casts though, that backline gets blown up combined with the Victor. If it doesn't, then I think Kyun wins pretty solidly.
That GP ult did everyone.
Yeah.
I've never seen 2 fully itemized Victor 2s on a board like this before.
True.
It's just it's so strong.
That's a lot of percent health too, because since Victor does percent health, no matter how strong that target is, it's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah. Wow. And a Shaco won just as the cheering squad for the mech.
And that Karma one, still the first one we saw.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Why not?
Oh.
All right. Can you do it? Victor getting jumped on by the Vi here.
Oh, the
GP
GP got
didn't cast.
deleted. Yeah.
Oh, that's big. Can the
Yeah,
Thresh pull in enough
Yep.
people? He did it. Yeah.
He can't have the GP jump towards the Vayne, or else the Vayne will kill him too quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does come down to, where that GP is positioned, it seems like, for Socks, whether he can win or lose. And Kyun still has like 2 lives here. He can take another loss and still be okay. Most likely, I think at 27. He should be safe at 27, shouldn't he?
At 7-1, no, actually. At 7-1, you can take enough damage because the base is pretty high. If it goes one way, that could be enough. So I don't think he's safe. It's not a guaranteed, but I wouldn't call him safe at all.
All right. Oh, another Nico's. That could come up big for Socks.
Oh, if he gets the Victor 3, that'd be pretty insane.
Does he want a Victor 3? That's my question, though. Like, he may actually just want 2 Victor 2s with all these items right now.
Victor 3 is like a one-shot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I suppose.
Faster impact here is good.
Yeah, that's huge, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
There it is.
wait, he has a Death Blade and an Ionic on it. The Thieves Glove was so good this game.
The nice thing here is at least Aurelia 3 doesn't have any like too juicy targets to just chew through.
True.
It got on the Karma. Never mind.
Oh, and then one Victor and next Victor probably soon to follow. Yep.
Oh,
and that's the game.
That is the game. Kyun with a first in our first game of the day here at the Teamfight Tactics Galaxies OCENA Finals, presented by Juked. And
Yes.
wow, what a first game. So sorry about the little break during the middle of it, guys. Hopefully that does not happen anymore tonight. But either way, it was an exciting first game. A lot of mech in that one, huh?
Mhm.
A lot of mech, a lot of Giant Slayer. I think we saw a lot of Giant Slayers get built in preparation for the mech.
Yeah,
So it seems like even within this tournament, we're already starting to see a bit of a meta shift to, okay, mech was strong, time to counter that mech. So
right.
Are there any stats, Mort, on the win rate of Aurelia 3?
they're very high. She's
Okay.
not the best, but I think she's slightly under Teemo, but it's really high.
What about Victor 3?
Victor 3 is a little harder because he's so item dependent.
Mhm.
With Victor 3, like you really need that blue buff to get going. So
Uh-huh.
So
Hey,
Kiyun, hey, his favorite comp is mech, and
Max
guess what?
J.
Still good.
um, yeah, I'm glad we didn't curse him. I was
Yes.
so close to
See,
cursing
you
him.
can't say that though, because by saying that, you may have actually cursed him for the rest of the games now.
Oh,
yeah, I
oh
mean
no.
he played that cyber comp well. He got that Vayne, turned it in with the triple Giant Slayer, playing for the meta. Again, I thought that was really well done. The two
Mm,
redemptions I think were also pretty key at keeping that Vayne alive. So really well played by Kian there.
Saves you a
yeah.
lot of HP in the mid game,
Mhm.
especially
Yeah,
because he was loose streaking early or trying to get the better carousel options. So that was
yeah.
super solid.
The question becomes, does next game he get eighth now?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
well, that's the thing. Like, by virtue of his results in the yesterday, yeah, that means the next one would be an eighth. Although this means that his total scores over the last 2 days have been 1-8, 1-8, 1-1. So maybe the streak has been broken.
We'll
I,
see. We'll see. I also have to
what?
call out Socks not playing Slash Bros.
Mhm.
He actually pivoted, so now he's a known pivoter, which
Oh, he's
means
smart.
everyone else can play the comp.
He's
So we'll
smart.
see what that does.
Is it just because he didn't start with the bow because of the Mortdog
Being-
carousel?
Come on now. I do think that was a
Careful.
big part of it, though, combined with the win streaking, the fact that he wasn't even able to pick up other bows, and so he kind of knew that like it would doom to try to force it. So
Yeah.
rather than paying that price, he adapted well, which was good to see and shows his skill as a player. And turning that into a second, I think was again really commendable.
Well, this late in the set too, Sox is going to be so well studied that you can come in with like a game plan of this is the comp I'm doing, like he did yesterday, and then come in with a separate game plan today too. So we'll have to kind of watch as the games develop. If he does go back towards Blade Masters and tries to force it a little bit more, or if he is just planning on kind of playing, best board, playing a little bit more flexible today.
Yeah, and if there are any players who want to up their TFT game, Sox makes some guides on positioning that are really helpful, super insightful, things that most people wouldn't really think about when they're positioning. But if you guys are looking for content like that, you guys should definitely check out Mismatched Socks.
Yeah, for sure. I'll second that. Especially if you feel like you're struggling in the early game. A lot of the things he talks about are like early unit positioning stuff that can save you an HP here and there, which can add up to 10, 15 HP over the course of the game. It's pretty important. So let's take a look at that winning cybernetics comp that we just saw Q and Pilot to a first place. Obviously the Aurelia 3, pretty big deal there, but that triple Giant Slayer Vayne really kind of got him in the position to win this one.
I think there's a bunch of things to call out here, right? There's the triple Giant Slayer Vayne and a mech meta, which is smart. I think there's the blue buff and Frozen Heart, which means that Echo's casting very quick, as well as the Blade Master. That was great. I think the double redemption, which again I keep calling out for Cybernetic, is good. Yeah, and then Thieves Gloves on Aurelia is almost like the perfect item for those leftover gloves. So yeah, just really well done all around.
Well, I think we have to shout out the Morello's double Luden's Aurelian Soul too. That's a great itemization for that as well to spread the Morello's debuff around, and then also the double Luden's is going to be bouncing everywhere for a good amount of damage. So just like a lot of good items on everybody really in that game.
Mhm.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, you have a
Idea.
lot of items when your Wukong has double Ludens and a Morello.
Right.